Oh yeah, good morning. We have got the 1st of April. It's not April Fool's Day. I think somebody wrote the other day to me that it has been cancelled, the April Fool's Day, because nothing will compete with how the world is looking like today. Funny thing, I think there's some truth to that. 1st of April also means that I've got my PSA back, and I was knocked out for a moment. I got it yesterday, 6 p.m. And for those who don't want to look at the video, I don't know how long it's going to be, probably not very long. Then I can tell you that the previous one was 110.7, and yesterday I got it back at 108.0. So, technicality, it has dropped. But my problem is, and the reason why it has knocked me out of balance for a moment, is that normally when I do these protocols, I kind of hold back a little bit because I want to make sure that, first of all, I can do things without having to interfere too much in my everyday life. I want to find a solution that works without being too cumbersome, without being too complicated. And secondly, I also want to make sure that if it doesn't come out the way I want, then I have a little bit of a dial that I can tweak on, and I can improve on it. But in March, I decided to go all in. I mean, it is time not to play anymore. It's time to get it done with. So I went literally 210% on my cannabis, and I went 200% on something else that I cannot mention on this channel because I already got 2 warnings and 1 strike that prohibited me from uploading anything for 6 days, despite the fact that the topic that I'm talking about is something that has been used for hundreds of years in water purification. But when I'm talking in relation to what I'm talking, then I am prohibited. Anyway, I don't think it's working the way I wanted it to anyway, so I'm cutting it down to half. And I am also cutting down on my cannabis to half. But I'm doing this because after a sleepless night, I kind of concluded something, and that is a motto that says sometimes less is more. Because I was just watching a podcast, or I just watched 20 minutes of a podcast. It was an expert within virology, immunology, surgery, and many other things. And I only saw 20 minutes of that podcast with what is it called, Carlson. Anyway, doesn't matter, not important. And he mentioned that one of the biggest problems when you've got cancer is inflammation. I know that, but sometimes you just have to be reminded about it. And I'm just thinking, when I'm looking back at my 78, which was my lowest PSA back in December 2023, and I looked at what I did back then, I practically didn't do anything. It was a mental attitude. I was sure I was going to be cured within 3 or 4 months. This was something I could beat easily. And then I hadn't been doing too much research at that point, because at that point I've just realized that this was something I had to take hand on myself, because the money that it cost to do radiation and to do the ADT was too much. So I started to do a lot of research and realized that there was a lot of things to be done, but I hadn't done too much. So I had done very little, very few protocols. I hadn't done any cannabis, and I think one of the first thing I grabbed was curcumin and artemisia. I think was the 2 things that I got there. But I managed to get it down to 78. And when I'm then looking at my my work so far, then the list of things that I've been doing has been growing, but my PSA has not been dropping. And so one could argue that maybe it is working. This is a big question. I really don't know, because what I don't know is if without what I've done, that it would have escalated tenfold. And because of what I do, the whole package of what I'm doing, then I managed to keep it at bay. Or am I causing more inflammation because I'm doing too much, and that I could actually do better with less? So this is going to be a bit of it's going to be a little bit of an exciting month in April, because I'm going to reduce the amount of supplements I'm taking. I'm gonna go by the philosophy that I advise everybody, and that is focus on your health and your body, and do focus less on the cancer. Now, obviously, when I do curcumin, it is because of cancer, but it's also because it is enhancing your immune system. When I'm doing black seed oil, it enhances your immune system, and all these kind of things is providing support to your immune system. But you could probably overdo it. When I'm looking at the amount of things that I am doing, it might be one of the reasons. Now, I have a small drop, but I've also looked at my cannabis, and like I said, I've done 210% on that. Should have had a very positive impact. I was 100% sure it was dropped below 100. But the first batch I did ever on hydrocarbon extraction, I did a winterization of it. And to my very happy surprise, there were no contaminants in it. There were no heavy particles or anything in the bottom of the glass after 24 hours. It was clear what I had in that glass there. And that made me very happy, because if you do winterization, you have to do a distillation, and when you do the distillation, you will have a degradation of the terpenes. And I'm not particularly keen on that, because that's the reason why I went by hydrocarbon extraction. It is to avoid degrading any of the components in the final product. So I was very happy to see it was crystal clear. So that's what I've been working with, and that's what I've been working with for the whole March month. But one of the things that I noticed when I did my oral version, although it tasted much better in much more of the specific strain that I used to flavor it, so to speak, because now I'm separating the THCA and the terps, so I can choose whatever I want. Then I still had that little after bite kind of thing that you have if you're getting the first edition of cold pressed olive oil of a high quality. That kind of I don't know. It's kind of give you an itch in your throat. You want to cough or something. Now, when you're doing olive oil, and that is a sign that it's a high quality one, but I'm not sure that's the case with this one here. And to verify that, I took my latest batch of CBD that I had extracted, and I did a winterization of that. And to my very big surprise, there's a huge amount of it resembles semi-melted pig fat, and we're talking a substantial amount here. We're talking a lot, and so what I'm kind of concluding here is that the things that I did the first time, where I was brand new to the extraction process, I paid attention to the details, and I did everything absolutely perfect, because I had no idea how to do it, so I had to follow the description of how to do it, very detailed. But as I grew better at it, I also grew a little bit more, or a little less, detail oriented apparently, and my batch has not been frozen enough. Everything has not been cold enough. My gas probably not been cold enough. So I've been extracting more than I wanted it to, and I've just been making my cannabis out of that. So I'm kind of hoping that the reason why the number is not as good as it is, despite me doing 210% on the cannabis, is that I've caused not more damage than good, because the number is lower, but I have counteracted the good by having a contaminated product. So I am very busy now. I have to have it all balanced, because between work and exercise, research, and lab work, oh man, I ain't got the time in the world for it. But I have to make it work, because this month I have to have a clean product within the next 3-4 days, I hope, and then I'll be using that. And then I'll be cutting down, as I said, on my suppositories, no, not suppositories, supplements, to see if I can reduce inflammation in that. And then I have to do a little bit of research to see what causes inflammation and what can reduce inflammation, if I have something that I've missed out on there. So yesterday I went to sleep. I was not in a good mood. I'm in a much better mood today, and as always, it is a matter of having a plan. It's a matter of having an idea of what went wrong and see if I can correct that. And as long as I got those, then there's hope. But yesterday, when I knew I'd done everything I had and then some, and yet it didn't provide me the result, it was devastating, because I'm paying at least 30,000 baht a month these days, just to keep my PSA at bay. And you could say it's good to keep it at bay, and it's good to keep the numbers low as I have. To be at 108 after almost 2 years, just doing my own thing, is fairly impressive, and it is starting to get acknowledged in the support groups where I'm mentioning it. I've even been called a bullshitter because people don't believe it. So I know it's good, but the problem is status quo is not satisfactory because I cannot support that financially, and it's not my end goal. My end goal is to get rid of it, and if I can't do that my own way, then I have to find another way to do it. So anyway, this was just a short video to let you know how it's going. I hope I can upload it, and if it does not upload right now, then you know why. But it is the 1st of April, I'm doing this video. Until next time, stay happy and healthy.